The opossum is North and South America's most misunderstood survivor.
People see them as dirty, slow, little, questionable looking, but biologically, these things are a walking contradiction.
They're ancient, adaptable, borderline indestructible, and somehow thriving in environments that would make most animals file for extinction. And if you think this is just another harmless scavenger, just know this. You're looking at an animal that eats venomous snakes, resists toxins that would kill most mammals. Opossums, especially Virginia opossums and common opossums, are masters of adaptation. Forests, swamps, suburbs, your backyard trash can, it's all the same with them. They're what scientists call synanthropic, meaning they thrive in human-altered environments. In simpler terms, you build a city, they saw free real estate. They're opportunistic omnivores. Fruits, insects, eggs, carrion, small animals, if it exists and doesn't fight back too effectively, it's on the menu. This flexibility is one of the main reasons they've survived while many other species haven't. Despite their reputation, they are mostly solitary animals. However, studies have shown occasional shared denning, especially among siblings, suggesting they're not completely antisocial, just selectively social. And then there's a classic move, playing dead. But it isn't actually acting. It's a full involuntary physiological shutdown. And they will stop releasing some nasty flatulence like skunks in order to try their luck in fending off predators. You're not scaring predators. You're convincing them you expired mid-conversation. The male opossum's dong is split into two, and each of them is connected to their own testicles. And they're not used for what you're thinking. You nasty motherfucker. They're used for the two vaginas and two uteruses that female opossums have. Opossums are very passive and compliant. Well, it turns out that they've always been communist since birth. Well, since before that, and I can prove you that. Don't believe me? Okay then, eyes on the prize. What you're seeing here is not a two-tailed sperm cell, it's two individual sperm cells that decided to put their differences aside and work together in order to find the target. Teamwork! No wonder they outlived every single other race. This teamwork allows the sperm cells to swim faster towards the targets using way less energy, but obviously only one of them makes it in. No, it's like two best friends trying to hit on a girl. The one who's got the best riz gets to keep her. And just like monkeys are born with the face of 90-year-olds, opossums are born with the hands of a 70-year-old carpenter. Opossum reproduction is a numbers game. A female may give birth to over 20 offspring, which are extremely underdeveloped and complete their development inside the mother's pouch, but only a fraction will survive, limited by the number of teats available in the pouch. After birth, the tiny neonate, about the size of a freaking jelly bean, must crawl unaided into the pouch and latch onto a teat. Those that fail simply don't make it. There's no retrieval phase, no second chances. Once inside the pouch, development continues for several weeks. After emerging, the young often use the mother's back for a ride. Because their young are born in such an underdeveloped state, they rely heavily on maternal immune support. Their milk composition changes over time to provide different immunological benefits as the young develop. And that tail, they use it to carry sticks and leaves back to their den, or to hang up upside down when they're young. Now you see some similarities they have with kangaroos, from having a stiff tail to a pouch, although they're not by any chance related. They're all marsupials. These ancient chaos-tolerant marsupials have been running the just survive strategy since before dinosaurs clocked out. They watched giants fall after the Cretaceous Paleogene extinction event, held it down in South America while everyone else got replaced, then casually crossed continents during the Great American Biotic Interchange like it was a side quest, and instead of evolving into apex anything, they doubled down and decided to live in low-profile mode, all the while sitting on the couch and enjoying some Cheetos you dumped in your damn trash can. Are you gonna finish that?
Dude, what the fuck?
Sitting on the couch and doing nothing but eat all day, watch TV, reproduce like the odds are rigged, and when danger shows up, either bluff like cracked out villain, literally shut down the system, or respond later. Not fast, not strong, not smart.
Hey Donald, I got another one. You're gonna love this.
Really good, that's exactly right, really bad, so great, so good.
Opossums operate with a lower baseline body temperature than most placental mammals, usually around 34 to 36 degrees Celsius. That might not sound like much, but biologically that's a big deal. This reduced temperature is one of the reasons diseases like rabies struggle to establish themselves in their system. It also reflects something deeper. Opossums are not optimized for peak performance, they're optimized for just enough performance to survive. Their fur provides moderate insulation, but they're not well equipped for extreme cold. This is why frostbite is relatively relatively common in northern populations, especially affecting their ears and tails. Despite this limitation, the Virginia opossum has steadily expanded its range northward into colder regions like southern Canada. Instead of evolving perfect cold resistance, they rely on behavioral adjustments, denning in sheltered areas, reducing activity, and exploiting human structures. This is a recurring theme with the opossum. They don't evolve the best solution, they evolve the most efficient shortcut. While many believe that opossums have poor eyesight and their vision isn't exceptional in daylight, it is well adapted for low light conditions, which aligns with their nocturnal lifestyle. Their real strengths lie in their sense of smell and hearing. The elongated snout houses a highly developed olfactory system, allowing them to locate food sources like carrion or insect with precision. Their ears are also sensitive to subtle environmental sounds, which helps compensate for their slower reaction speed compared to other mammals. In other words, they don't need sharp vision when they can smell your leftovers from across the block. Opossums follow a low-energy lifestyle. They do not invest heavily in speed, endurance, or complex hunting strategies. Instead, they rely on opportunism and conservation. Their metabolic rate is relatively low, and they tend to avoid unnecessary extortion. This is why their defense strategy leans toward bluffing or playing dead rather than fighting or fleeing. Fighting wastes energy. Running requires speed they don't have, but convincing a predator you're already dead or that you're confident, that's efficient. Or is it? Yeah, maybe not the brightest idea. This energy strategy also explains their scavenging behavior. Like, why hunt when something else already did the work? Sounds stupid, doesn't it? Opossums can carry parasites and pathogens like Trypanosoma cruzi, the Chagas disease, and toxoplasmosis, along with ticks and fleas. However, despite this, they are surprisingly resistant to certain diseases. Rabies? Extremely rare in opossums, largely due to their lower body temperature, which makes it harder for the virus to thrive. But not only do they get away with throwing the middle finger to rabies and other diseases, they also possess serum proteins capable of neutralizing venom from species like the pit viper. This has led to medical research exploring anti-venom development based on opossum biology. One notable study done in separate years, one in 1999 and the other in 2009, demonstrated that a specific peptide in opossum blood can deactivate venom toxins, something scientists are actively trying to replicate synthetically. The gray short-tailed opossum lacks a pouch entirely, because apparently even marsupials like to experiment. Unlike most mammals, it doesn't have a spontaneous reproductive cycle. It requires chemical signals, pheromones, to trigger it. This makes it incredibly useful in reproductive biology studies. Even more fascinating, their babies are born at such an early developmental stage that scientists can observe immune system development in real time. This has made them valuable in neuroscience, immunology, and even cancer research. Basically, while one opossum is raiding your trash, another is helping scientists understand how life itself develops. While the Delphi species get most of the attention, the opossum family is far more diverse. The water opossum, also called the yapok, is semi-aquatic and has webbed feet. Yes, there is an opossum that swims better than Michael Phelps. The bare-tailed woolly opossum is more arboreal, with a softer appearance that makes it look like it belongs in a completely different tax bracket. Their evolutionary family tree is pretty complex, with all of them falling under the order Didelphiformia. Genus Didelphis comprises 4 species: the Virginia opossum, the only one in North America, cold tolerance and expanding north; common opossum, South and Central America, more tropical, equally chaotic scavenger; white-eared opossum, known for thriving in cities, basically urban survival expert; big-eared opossum, larger ears for better heat regulation and hearing. These are the default settings. Everything else is just a remix. The genus Philander houses a gray four-eyed opossum, the bro that evolved fake eyes because one set clearly wasn't enough. The genus Charonictis, the previously mentioned water opossum. The genus Calorimus, housing the bare-tailed woolly opossum, and the Derby's woolly opossum. These are the ones that got the aesthetic upgrade patch. The genus Monodelphis, which houses the gray short-tailed opossum. The no-pouch gang. The genus Marmosa, mouse opossums. These are the budget version, smaller, faster, still just as stressed. Genus Metachirus, brown four-eyed opossum, which unlike others doesn't rely heavily on climbing, more ground-based. The genus Didelphodon, the extinct ancestor, very important for the tree. These ones lived during the age of the dinosaurs. Powerful jaws, likely scavenger/predator. Before opossums were playing dead, their ancestors were biting like they meant it. I could go all day and talk about the 100 species out there,
But this video will be longer than your lifespan. What you think I was gonna say?
Opossums are not aggressive, but they're far from defenseless. When dealing with animals like raccoons, interactions are usually competitive rather than confrontational. Both are scavengers, so conflicts tend to revolve around food. Instead of fighting, opossums rely on intimidation displays, hissing, showing teeth, and bluffing. If that fails, they hit the emergency shutdown button and go full, I am no longer part of this conversation. Against snakes, however, it's a different story. Thanks to their venom resistance, opossums can and do prey on venomous species, turning what should be a deadly encounter into a very bad day for the spaghetti. Despite their reputation, opossums provide significant ecological benefits. They help control insect populations, consume carrion, and may even reduce tick numbers, indirectly limiting the spread of diseases. They also might surprisingly be cleaner than you are. Cry about it. They groom themselves regularly, so the dirty pest label is more myth than reality. In parts of South America, species like common opossum are used in traditional medicine and as a food source, showing their cultural as well as ecological importance.
Wait, what, food? Nah, I gotta try that.
So go ahead, laugh at the opossum, laugh at the weird face, laugh at the plain dead. Just remember, while entire species got wiped out, this thing looked at extinction and said, yeah, I'ma pass out real quick. And it worked for 70 million years. But you know what won't work? Got you again. Jesus is Lord.